Well, today was a World Food Day event, just basically celebrating World Food Day, and one of the community members came down for a feast today, and some volunteers and everything helped out, and it's been a really great day.
I think local food is really important in terms of nutrition and also for health of adults and children. And although I've had experience growing my own food, and it just makes a difference in terms of the taste and the freshness and things like antioxidants levels, antioxidants, etc. So that's one of the reasons I'm really in favor of local food.
I also really like the diversity of the crowd today. I've been involved with local food organizing and initiatives for several years, and I didn't see a lot of people I expect to see, but I saw a lot of people I don't know either. So I think it was really good that there was a diverse crowd of enthusiastic individuals.
A lot of this is from a farmer because I've made my living from farming for 30 years. These are Spanish onions, okay? Onions need more dry and like not sun, dark, okay? Dry, dark, not too terribly cold, okay? Divide them up, the bigger ones from the smaller ones. Use the smaller ones first, then the bigger ones, so that you can extend your season for as long as possible. And this is the way I store it, in these bags that have air. Anyway, okay, so these are banana potatoes. You sort all that out and all the seed potatoes out, okay? Then I sort out all the little ones like this, eh? And I put them all in a bag. And those I will have for, I will eat. They don't store as well, eh? So I will eat them all first before Christmas hour. And for baking, it's really good at the end of the season because the starches have turned to sugars, eh? So they're sweeter. Like any, potatoes at the end of the season are sweeter than at the beginning. Okay, then carrots. But I wash all my vegetables before I put them in, so I don't have to do a lot of washing when I take them out and use them. Okay? I always cut off the tops because then it doesn't regrow. Like otherwise, if you leave the tops on, then often it starts sprouting. Okay? But I take all the smaller ones and put them in a bag, and then I put the larger ones in another bag, and all this little ones that goes into juicing. But humid, dark, cool, 2 to 5 degrees. Okay, that's for carrots and potatoes. They'll last you a long time. A lot of there's probably many ways of doing it. And you follow your way of doing it. I do it because my mom did it this way, eh? Like this.
But I want to thank you all for coming. I hope you will all stay around for the panel discussion. It's a complicated issue. Today we're only dealing with one aspect of it, but it involves a whole host of issues, and my goal and my hope today is that we'll generate discussion, we'll generate dialogue, and that it will be perhaps the first of many opportunities that I convene and that others convene so that we can carry on this discussion, because I think it's a very important one.
We have asked each of our 5 panelists to take 5 minutes to identify or to comment on 2 things particularly. One is, what are we doing locally in Manitoba to address food safety and quality issues? And 2 is, what initiatives, if any, should the federal government be concerned with or to undertake with respect to food production and safety as well?
And certainly I'm pleased to be here to represent the farming industry. We have other farmers and other organizations here as well that are here to speak to the issues.
You saw in that barn where they took the chickens out of there, the tractors almost got stuck. Well, just to assure you that every chicken farm in Manitoba has a concrete floor and is cleaned out after every flock.
Ladies and gentlemen, I found much of what was in the movie this afternoon somewhat disturbing. I'm sure some of you did too.
With selling pork and raising pork the Humane Society way, and I found out I virtually never had to change anything, and I got certified by the Winnipeg Humane Society.
And we're hoping to have more events like this. What would this conversation be like if we had this in a rural community? I think that we really need to make the effort to do more of that.
So any questions or comments? If you, anybody in the audience?
But the story will be a little bit discouraging. I just want to warn you that. That's not because I like discouraging people. I just think that if we don't get down to the real roots of the matter when we are working, iData is really an effort to get down to the bottom of the story, to know what's happening in some detail, some rigor, so that we can really say what at bottom takes place, what genuine change could we make if we might want to make it better. The next thing I'm sort of going around the continent saying right now, and I've been saying this for several years, and suddenly people are kind of waking up and realizing it's probably right, is that as we have the economic downturn we've been experiencing in the last few years, I really believe that what you could call local foods is really the best answer for getting us into an economic recovery. The food system we have takes wealth out of our communities. And that's basically because we're focused a lot on commodity production, often for export, often for low financial return. So all told, to summarize this sort of tale, in 2006 again, farmers spent over $500 million more producing products than they got back from the market. It's probably equally bad in 2009. Spent $1.5 billion outside the province buying inputs for that process, and saw their neighbors buying about $2.5 billion worth of food from far away. That, of course, is well over $4 billion a year leaving the province, which is the value of all the food commodities produced by all the farmers in the province each year. So it's by no means a trivial amount of money.
So what's your name?
Alpheus Cook.
Hi Alpheus, how long have you been fishing?
27 years.
27 years, and right here in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, the third generation fisherman. My father fished, my grandfather fished, and my son is learning how to fish also.
Thank you for joining us. There are about 20 people in the room and about 60 people online from across Canada who are here with us as well.
My name is John Hutton. I'm the Executive Director of the John Howard Society of Manitoba, and I'm going to be moderating the forum this afternoon. This is very much a food and an agricultural issue, but it's also a prison issue. The event is being co-sponsored by the John Howard Society, the Coalition to Save the Prison Farms. Had invited Vic Taves, who is the Member of Parliament for this area, which is why we're in Steinbach today, and also the Minister responsible for prisons to participate. He declined to take part, and he apparently declined to have anyone fill in on his absence.
My name is Andrew McCann, and I'm from Kingston, Ontario, where 2 of the 6 prison farms are located. Not only are we here physically, and the Minister's riding just down the street, not too far from his constituency office, but we're also live on the internet with, I see right now, 68 Canadians watching from across Canada.
I'm Kate Story. I'm the Green Party of Canada agricultural critic. I'm also a farmer here in Manitoba. Grain, cattle, poultry. They're MPs. I'm the farmer.
Represent Churchill. Churchill starts actually just north of Pine Falls and goes all the way up to the north of 60 border. It's one of the largest rural ridings in Canada, and for that reason I'm the Rural and Community Development critic for the NDP, and I work closely with our agricultural critic Alex Adamanenko, who has been part of this campaign as well.
Just as a matter of introduction, I am Wayne Easter, and I am the agriculture critic of the Liberal Party. Spent actually a lot of time in this area of Manitoba and across the West in a former life as president of the National Farmers Union for 11 years. So I've been on a lot of farms in Western Canada. And as well, I'm also a former Solicitor General in Chrétien's cabinet. So I've seen the prison system up close and personal. I've been on the farms, and I can tell you the inmates, the correctional officers, the Corcan people who actually work on the farms, not the manager who doesn't visit them, but the people who actually work on the farms are proud of the work they do, and they're extremely proud of feeding the prison system.
And so one has to ask the question, what is their new direction? And when you take a look at it, when you peel back the surface of their tough on crime agenda, it is nothing more than a rehashed version of what was tried by Republicans in the United States to enormously disastrous impact. And I've talked to inmates who've gone through those programs. One courageous inmate in Kingston who went up to the microphone and talked about the difference it made in his life, the life skills that it gave him, the perspective that it gave him, the empathy and compassion that he learned through animal husbandry.
Thank you.